Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series. And today, oh man, we're talking about a Goosebumps book. And we are talking about none other than book number 42, Egg Monsters from Mars. Okay, so first off, props to my wife because she got this for me actually last Easter in 2024. And so I had it on my shelf. I didn't get to it on Easter. And so I was like, oh, I'll save it for next year. So I read it this month in April 2025 for the Easter season because eggs, monsters, all the things, I guess. But this book was not quite what I expected it to be, I just have to say. Egg Monsters from Mars is an interesting entry in the Goosebumps series because it does have some interesting, creepy moments, but also it has the wildest twist ending that just comes out of nowhere. And so I want to start with the end first. Now, no spoilers here. I am not going to spoil anything with this book, but I just do have to say, the very end of this book is so bad. It is just bad because the very end is a twist that is just, you never see it coming. It's totally out of nowhere. It's just super random. It actually doesn't seem to fit the feel of the book. And so I just kept thinking the entire time, what? That's the end of the book? And I thought, oh, maybe there's one more chapter that will kind of explain things or will help us figure this out a little bit. But nope, no extra chapter at all. The book just ended exactly at this most random moment where this most random thing happens. And if you've read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I will not lie, up until the end, I was all in on this book. I really was enjoying the plot. I liked the characters. I liked the mystery of what was happening. I liked the spookiness. I liked the monster that was here. I liked all of those pieces up until the very end. And then all of a sudden, what's happening? This most random moment out of nowhere. So let's talk about the rest of the book. Now, this book starts off actually pretty fun. There's like this whole egg fight scene that goes down that's so much fun. It's really zany and it's totally R.L. Stine and I really enjoyed it and I thought it was great. You also have here this main character, Dana, who he is at his little sister's birthday party, and his little sister is not actually that annoying for a little sibling in a Goosebumps book. And her name is Brandy, and they are having this all-out egg fight. Brandy is very upset that this is happening. She does not want it to happen. And so she's thinking, what is going on? My birthday party is ruined. And then Dana finds something. He finds a very mysterious egg. And there is something inside this egg that is not normal. And so Dana is wondering what's going on, what's inside this egg, and when the egg finally does hatch, it's pretty interesting. And I will say, we do not really find out much about the monster in the egg, and I liked it that way. Normally, I do like some more answers than this, but I actually really enjoyed the amount of answers we did get, but also the amount of answers we did not get, because I think it added to the overall mystery of this book. You have some possibilities that are presented in this book, which I thought was really good, but nothing is ever super definitive. Now, like I said, normally I don't really love that in a book when the plot is a little wishy-washy, you're not really sure where it's going, but for this one, I liked that there were not a lot of answers. And I really liked what happened to Dana, the character, when he's trying to solve the mystery of this egg, figure out what's going on with it. And so he ends up in some interesting places where there is some very devious and creepy things happening. And I thought that it was so interesting. You have some great, really suspenseful moments in this book too. There's one particular sequence where you are kind of on the edge of your seat. And I will say, normally a Goosebumps book doesn't get me that way. Like, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, this is fun. And oh, that's a little spooky. Like, oh, that was kind of creepy. Or, oh, that was really disturbing. Or I'm reading them and I think they're kind of dumb sometimes, like Go Eat Worms, for instance. but most of the time I really enjoy them. But this one actually had me on the edge of my seat in one section, because there is a moment where the characters are trying to get out of something and they can't, and they are stuck, and it is like freedom is so close and you're wondering, how is he going to get out of this? So I really enjoyed that sequence. However, there's also some other pieces to this book that are kind of interesting too, because you have a very obvious villain at one point in this book that you're thinking, oh, duh, that's a villain. Why would we wonder why they wouldn't be? And so I thought that was kind of a letdown, but also you have a really weird thing that R.L. Stine does in this book with Dana's best friend. Now, Dana's best friend, Anne, she's very interesting. She actually reminded me a lot of Andy from the Monster Blood books. And she's kind of like that daredevilish type who's like, I'm gonna try this and see what happens and see what's going on with this. But also, she was kind of annoying. I actually felt like she took the place of the bratty sibling role, where it's like this friend who's not very nice, not really a friend to Dana, who is just trying to be kind and be friendly, and Anne is just not. And I thought that was kind of, I didn't like that characterization of Anne. I thought it was just kind of thrown in and not really explored that much. Anne is kind of just there to be someone that Dana goes to talk to about what's going on with this egg that he's found. I think that there's a lot of fun moments. Like I said, there's some good spooky moments too. And there are some tense moments. Like I said, this book had me a little on the edge of my seat, all until the ending. And then the ending just dragged this book down. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little torn on this one, because like I said, I really enjoyed the ride up until the very end. And then you have that final twist that you're just thinking, why? Why did we do this? It almost made the rest of the book feel in some ways like a joke, like just a big punchline. Like the whole book is a joke just so R.L. Stine can deliver this one punchline at the very, very end. And I don't really appreciate that, because it makes me as a reader feel like there wasn't a super good point to this book at all. I think there are some interesting things being said in this book about, particularly about animals, and about how people treat animals and the ways that people think about animals, and how the assumptions that people make about animals. And I feel like that's where R.L. Stine was kind of going a little bit with this storyline, because you have some characters that are looking at these monsters as they're just a creature, than it that doesn't really matter, don't really have a lot of, stuff to offer anybody. And then you have people wondering, maybe there's more to this monster, and maybe there's more going on here. And I thought that that was an interesting exploration, but once again, that punchline ending just kind of unravels all of that and leaves you just kind of thinking, why did I waste my time? So at the end of the day, I'm gonna give Egg Monsters from Mars a 3 out of 5 stars. And mainly because the ride was fun. The ride was fun. Almost, I would say, if you read this book, just don't read the very last line. It's literally one sentence at the very end that ruins it, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's pretty fun. And I liked it better than other Goosebumps books. Definitely not in my favorites. Definitely not one I'm going to reread anytime soon, but I enjoyed it. And I thought it was fun all the way up until the end. So, until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.